Good evening. My name is Brandon Zealy. I'd like to just tell you a little bit about myself. Uh, I'm 28 years old. I live here in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm born and raised here. I've been here all my life. Absolutely love it here. I couldn't imagine myself living anywhere else. When I was younger, I kind of took this place for granted, but now that I'm older, I can actually see the real beauty of the place. Uh, some of my favorite things to do, I love traveling. That's been a new passion of mine. I haven't been able to go abroad yet. I've mainly stayed inside the States. I hope to be able to change that sometime in the near future. Some of my places to go have been Chicago, New Orleans, but as much as I like going to cities, I really like the outdoors and really country places. I've recently been to Boone, North Carolina, just right up the road, and that place was awesome. A lot of great hiking spots. I really love the mountains. Going to Asheville this weekend actually, and do a little bit more hiking. About 4 years ago, I graduated from the University of South Carolina. Even though I am a Clemson fan, and anyone who knows about the two rivalries really knows that if you're a Clemson fan, you don't go to USC. If you're a USC fan, you don't go to Clemson. Huge rivalry in the state. But at the time when it came for me to decide, it was smarter for the degree that I wanted to pursue for me to go to the University of South Carolina. I got a bachelor's in communications. My focus was broadcast journalism, and I did a lot of this right here, talking in front of a camera. And when I had to decide what degree I want, I really didn't know the driving force behind uh, broadcast journalism. I like talking to people. I like getting to know people, telling their stories, and people also told me that I kind of had a voice for it. So it kind of stuck. I kind of just fell into it. But during my time at USC, the course, I feel like I did benefit a lot from it. They had a great broadcast journalism program. During my senior semester, our capstone course, we actually were in charge of doing the 4 o'clock student show every day, the news show, the newscast. It was a 30-minute show, Monday through Friday, and us students, it was our job to come up with what was the biggest story that day. We would go out with cameras, we would interview people, we would edit the stories, and then we would put it together. And then some of us were anchors that day. Some of us would do the weather. Some of us would do sports. And we really learned a lot. Like I said, the program was great. But when I graduated, I really didn't know if that was still what I wanted to do. Our professors told us that if you wanted to make it big in that field, that you're going to have to move to bigger networks. You'd have to move to bigger cities. And I really didn't know if I wanted to leave Charleston, but I went ahead and gave it a shot. I got a job at a local news station, Live 5 News. I was the guy behind the cameras. I was a production assistant, but it really didn't pay well. And the hours were real crazy. It was in the evening. I'd work from 3:30 to 9, then get a break, and you'd work from 10 o'clock to 12. So just my hours were crazy. And I just realized that wasn't a job for me. And that's how I ended up where I'm at now at the South Carolina State Ports Authority. And the first job was very entry level. It was a very basic job, but it really got my foot in the door. And I spent 2 years doing that entry level job, which was basically loading cars off a train, putting them on the ground so that they could wait and then load a ship and be taken overseas, anywhere across the world. And like I said, did that for 2 years. Very basic job, but it opened the door for what I'm doing now, which is a really good job. I'm very satisfied with. It's given me a lot more responsibility, which I like. I've gotten to meet a lot more people. It's great networking. But as much as the port has been growing, I'm hoping to grow with it. And that's kind of why I'm here now. I went and interviewed for a management position, and the guy interviewing me, who was actually a director for some of the terminals there, he was asking me what experience I had dealing with people and having people work under me and communication skills. And I realized at that point, I didn't really have the experience. And that was a big thing. And I thought maybe if I didn't have the experience, then maybe I could get education. Maybe I can get educated on it. And that's why I'm here now in this class, pursuing a master's in leadership. I'm really hoping to get a better understanding on how to talk to people, on how to have management skills. And that's why I'm here now, and that's my main goal, communication skills. how to deal with certain scenarios. What's the best way to go about things. These are all things I'm hoping to learn through this course and through this program, and I'm really looking forward to it. I really feel like it can be very beneficial, and I appreciate you letting me talk to you. I hope you have a good evening. Thank you.